there are going to be some stairs that I haven't taken since 2005. And here I'm gonna shock you and share with you a fact that you don't know about me. If you're not from this country and if you're younger than me, then these things, they may shock you. All those things that we were doing as kids. People don't do things like this anymore. Look at this. This historical cemetery. This place built for people who died during the Second World War. And look at this wall. This is the wall, the reason I, as a kid, and my brother, if I remember correctly, were taken to police. Why, you would ask? And the reason is super simple. Because we, as young kids, decided one day to go play around this place, walk around, and run. Go running on those walls, on this wall. And then a few hours later, I believe, we were invited to police because our neighbor, an elderly woman, decided that we deserve that. We have to be taken to police and fined. This is one of my childhood memories. I'm in my hometown of Balvi in Latvia, and in this video I'm planning to take you on a walk through this beautiful small town. It's been a few years since I was here the last time, and during this walk I'm gonna share a few of my childhood memories and share with you some facts that you most likely don't know about me. I'm worried about those cars. I don't believe in our drivers to stop and let me cross the road. Look at that 3-story building. In that building there used to live 2 guys, if I remember correctly, and thanks to those 2 guys I am fluent in Russian, because they were Russian and I wanted to play with them. We wanted to play with them, me, my brother and a few of our friends. We were maybe 7-8 years old, and to play with these 2 boys we learned their language. Thank you guys. I haven't met and have no idea where did they go to, or if they maybe are still living here, and what were their names, but that's a fact. I learned Russian thanks to them, and that happened a few years before they started teaching us Russian in school, so I was already fluent when I needed to learn the language. That was a very cool thing, and I'm still super happy that I know the language, because for example now this summer I could travel in the southeast of Europe and be in a much better position thanks to that knowledge. There used to be doors. I remember this building because one of our friends, it's funny that you remember things like this, but one of our friends, maybe 5 years younger than me, one day he decided that he wants to steal a pack of biscuits, cookies, some snacks, maybe some chocolate, I don't know. I remember we were in that shop and boom, a few moments later he is running out. We didn't know that he was planning to do that. I don't remember if we ran together with him or no. You see what kind of friends I had in my childhood. But trust me, he wasn't a bad person. It's just what kids enjoyed doing when I was growing up. And it wasn't out of necessity, it was fun for him. Here was another shop that I remember we were going as kids and buying some Pokemon something, some, I don't know, what do you call it, like round chips, and then we were playing with them like paper chips. Pokemons, and or maybe there weren't Pokemons but something else, don't remember. Very soon we'll be by a place where I'm gonna shock you. I'm shocked myself when I see the place and I remember what we used to do there as kids. Yeah, so this is a street in Balvi on a weekend. A town of something like 7, 8, maybe a little bit more, 1,000 people. When I was living here it was 8,000 people. And when I was living here there was no this, don't know what, I think a shop. Yeah, a grocery, better, a supermarket and a pharmacy. There is going to be a park, a lake, and my former school, and to the left one of our childhood playgrounds. That playground, not really a place worth going now. They have taken it down, but there was a huge factory, meat production factory, and we as kids, maybe 10, 12 years, 14, 15 maybe, teenagers, we used to play there. We used to play in that abandoned factory, abandoned for maybe like 15, 20 years at that time. We used to play there. We used to go to places like chemist, lab. Not the safest place most likely for kids, and I guess that's why they destroyed it. But at the same time, for a very long time, at least for 10 plus years, the place was still left as ruins, so you still could go there. Don't know why they didn't clean up the place completely. Okay, I see the lake in front of us. Let's check out this, what is happening here. Some concert. Child's party, children party. Today, Zaļumballe. A direct translation would be Zaļumballe. A party, outdoor party in nature. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, they usually happen in parks or somewhere in nature, some like venues for events. So this is the lake. This is the place. Here I'm gonna shock you and share with you a fact that you don't know about me. There are only a few people that know this thing. And this thing is that this is where we were swimming as kids. And not just playing somewhere here. near the shores. We, as kids, me, my brother, our friends, we were swimming across. I'm not even sure if there is a beach still there on that side, but we usually went to that beach on that shore, maybe 500, 400 meters away from here, if you swim straight. I'm not sure if we are swimming straight. Not sure if you can even do it as a kid. But we were usually going there and then swimming to here. And then, since we were lazy kids, like I'm lazy now, we didn't just walk back, we swim back. So, don't know, 800 meters, 1 kilometer swim as a kid, 10 years old, 12 years old. The youngest of us was the same guy who stole those cookies. He was maybe 6-7 years younger than me. That means he was around 8-7 years old when we first swam across the lake. And we didn't just do it once or twice. We did it every once in a while. We weren't going to places like this. We didn't have places like this where to play around as kids. This was our playground. We were just swimming across the lake. And I also remember one time when we built a raft somewhere at that end, and it was a bad raft. It was barely keeping afloat. I remember that thing very well. It was submerged underwater a little bit when we were sitting on it, and we did all this journey from that very end, which was maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 kilometers on it as young kids, without a good chance to get ashore in case things went wrong. But I guess we just weren't afraid. Kids from a small town in Latvia in the 90s were brave. Braver than we are as adults. It's quite a distance. I'm sure I can swim it now. I'm sure I can do it now, but I'm not so sure that I would be more frightened to do it. Yeah, there were no things like this. No places to play around. And in those situations when we were too tired to swim, it was very few times, we would walk around and go back. And that meat production factory, it was on the banks of this same lake. There used to be quite thick bushes in that area before the factory, and this is where we used to build tree houses. Decent tree houses. We had, for example, oven in the tree house. Yeah, oven. Kids used to play with fire too. It was a very good tree house in these bushes. Those bushes. We built also many others that weren't as sophisticated. No people. In my hometown you also don't see too many people, even though it's summer, weekend. People are shopping at home. You don't see kids swimming across the lake now. My first school on the right, in a historical building. I'm not sure if this is a school now, maybe it isn't anymore. This is a park, the main city park. There's the concert and event venue where that Zaļumballe is going to happen. Well, this is where most of events happen, at that venue. Let's go there. Let's walk past it and I'll show you the city center of the town center. And this is the place, the venue. This is the place where most likely I used to dance traditional Latvian folk dances. At least a couple of times. I used to be good at that. And then once, already in maybe in the teenage years, maybe, I don't know, 6th grade, 7th grade, I remember how I organized us, several boys, to leave the folk dance training a few months before big competition, because we really didn't like working with our teacher and we left. A bad boy. So this is the place. See the green curtain? This is where Zaļumballe is going to happen today. At the time when I most likely am gonna be sleeping already. Not a Zaļumballe person. Can go and ride the horse. This is what I would call a typical small town in Latvia. Quite nice, clean, green, beautiful plants and flowers here and there. Much nicer than those places used to be when I was growing up, and also very quiet, maybe quieter than before, don't know. It's actually hard for me to talk about the sizes of towns that we have when I'm used to spending time in cities with 100 times more people. There are more people in a shopping mall in Bangkok than there are in this town, this whole town. In one building there are more people in Bangkok or Singapore or Tokyo than there are in this whole town. A statue, I don't know what it's for. Okay, Latgales partizāņu pulka kritušiem karavīriem. Okay, 1919, 1920 soldiers from this region of Latvia who died in the First World War. The only pizzeria that we have here, the only international food that we have here in the town. Could be so. It's funny that this church here, it took the people who were building it around 20 years to finish it, because I remember seeing the foundation of this place when I was 6 or 7 years old, but they finished it only after I left the town in 2005. the Orthodox church. Not a church person, don't know. The Russian church. This is what we used to call it. Vikenti. I'm seeing some new places. Shop where they sell goods from farmers. The bus station, shopping center, 2 floors high. Is there the tic-tac? Yes, tic-tac shop still here. One of the few places that I remember from my childhood, including the Agre Electronics and Agre Sports, a shop where our parents bought us bicycles, our first mountain bikes. Kanceles preces. You can get everything, like for school, for your house. Next on the list, place that we call the House of Culture. I don't know if I have been there for anything cultural. Maybe I was dancing there. Maybe my brother or sister were dancing or singing or doing something there, but I don't remember going to that place for anything that other people are doing, like some concert or something, or theater. Looks like they have something like a farmer's market now on a weekend. Kultūras and atpūtas centers. So the House of Culture and Relaxation or Recreation. Here, the place of my first work, my first job when I was maybe 16 or 17 years old was to help build this spot. This used to be just grass, and we built those pathways and these benches, and I was walking around, moving rocks and things. Still here, 20 years later, still here. Let's continue this tour of Balvi, my hometown, by going to my school. I haven't been there since 2005, 19 years. I may have passed a couple of times, but I have never been in, and I'm not going in. Bookshop has been there for long time. Some goods, some things for kids. Shop Tigris. First time I'm seeing it. One of my classmates was living in this building, and thanks to that classmate I knew a few things about the Yugoslavia and conflicts in Bosnia. Yeah, like I said, if you are not careful, they will kill you here on pedestrian crossings. Thanks to that guy, I know a few things about conflicts in Bosnia, because his father used to be a soldier, NATO soldier. I have no idea if we have any place you would call a restaurant or a cafe here, but in this building, where is it? Here. In this building you can buy a meal, takeaway meal. something reasonably priced, cheap, something Latvian. Was this house here all the time? Don't know, because I remember going to school, maybe here. When I was going to school, walking to school, I used to go through here. There are going to be some stairs that I haven't taken since 2005. Yeah, those are the stairs that I haven't taken for 19 years. Almost looks like everyone forgot about those stairs and these pathways when I left. They were like, whatever. Kids are going to take a different road to school. Yeah, now there is a fence. I kinda remember that there is something kind of fence, but we were still going through some hole in that fence. This is my school there. This in front of it is pool, public pool. This is my very much hated stadium, because as a kid I hated anything related to sport. Thanks to the teachers. Thank you. So as a kid I was super happy when I somehow got a paper from my doctor saying that Kaspars isn't fit enough for any sports tests. However, the thing that surprises me the most still now is how did I manage to convince my teacher that this paper which says that I'm not fit enough for tests also allows me to not join the classes at all. This is still a mystery to me, but I did that and I skipped the sports classes for several years. And then when I didn't have to do sports for grades, I started enjoying it. I started snowboarding, running, cycling, hiking, and now 19 years later consider sports one of the coolest things in the world. But yeah, that's not thanks to people from this place. The school looks very different. I can't remember that my class was on this end of the building. And yeah, during this walk we will have walked all across the town. There is only one street that I would call somewhat major. Yeah, and that means that we will have walked more or less the whole town. BVJ. BVJ. Balvu valsts gimnāzija. BVG, my school. Yeah, and that means you have seen most of my town, my hometown. My school. I wouldn't call the memories from the school terrible, but the fact that I haven't returned to it at all, the fact that I have skipped all the invitations to come back for some yearly gatherings speaks a lot, I think. That's it for today. See you soon. Most likely from somewhere in Latvia or nearby. See ya!